Hey guys, I got a story from a viewer I'm going to read. I haven't really read a story from a viewer in a while, and he sent one in, and I think he's been with us pretty much since probably the beginning of my channel. And he's got more than this one here, but it's one that he's mentioned a while back, and he went ahead and sent it in, and he gave me permission to go ahead and use his name. So I'm sure you'll see him in the comments of this video that I'm making. His name is Spook Tater Bob, and he usually comments on every video. He's a really nice guy. He's on both of my channels actually, and I appreciate him being on both the channels, and the kids do also. Uh, the story he sent in kind of made me start thinking, and I done a little bit of digging off of his story because he got my mind running a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and start with his story, and then I'll end with some of the things that I was thinking about, and we'll see what you all think, and maybe we can come up with an idea. I'm sure we can come up with something. We'll see. He says, I'm not sure exactly the year, 1997 or 98, but it would have been the winter. The location is in Estill County, Kentucky, east side of the county on a small gravel road named Flincham Ridge. It is located atop of Cobb Hill Mountain. It is very deep in dark woods amidst the Daniel Boone National Forest. Another Kentucky. It involves myself, Spook Tater. I keep wanting to say the wrong word, I don't know why, but it's Spook Tater Bob and my cousin Philip. With us were two very loyal guard dogs. Nayla, a part wolf female, very powerful and skilled. I once watched her leap a 6-foot cemetery fence. The other dog was Shadow, a male black lab. He was also a good dog. Certainly not as powerful as Nayla was. I hope I'm saying her name right. A group of us decided to camp on Smith Hill. I cannot remember the entire crew, but a friend named Brian was there, his cousin Dave, friends such as Mike, who we called Eeyore after the Winnie the Pooh character because he talked slow, sounds like Eeyore. Tony, who we called T-Bone, and I can't remember the entire crew. We got to Smith Hill and built a fire because it was going to get into the 20s at night. Yeah, that's my favorite time of year to camp too, is whenever it's cool. Cause it's hard when big boys get out there in the heat. I've had a few heat strokes. Philip was a teen, and I was early 20s. Philip had a girlfriend that lived further out from Flincham Ridge, and she usually had some of her gorgeous friends there. Yeah, that's why they're camping. Another thing I want to bring to point is my uncle also mentioned, and I can see that they're doing this in theirs, is when they're camping they got females with them. Now I don't know if there's anything to this, but it could be just the males and the females been there, but my uncle always told me if you have an equal amount of females as you do males out in the woods, he said it'd be straight hell. And just something I wanted to throw out there, see what you guys think. Leave me a comment. You think it matters, or do you think it's just having a female there? He said, Philip and I, being the little ornery ones, or being the little hounds we were, decided to go visit these girls. I'm sure they're plenty ornery too. Nayla and Shadow, being personal dogs of Philip, his brother, and his father, definitely tagged along, much because Philip, very good dogs, very loyal, good fighters, never scared, never backed down to any challenge. Along the near mile hike, Philip and I both needed to stop to pee. It was near dusk at this time. The spot is by a little cemetery with only a few graves, on another high point on the ride. I guess that would be kind of a scary little spot. A lot of people don't like cemeteries at night, but they really don't bother me. I always figure there ain't nothing out there in the dark, it's not in the daylight. He says, I just happened to look to my left, and crossing the road was a black four-legged figure, just slowly crossing, almost as slow as a sloth. I noticed Nayla and Shadow both watching it, also, but not reacting. They did not even alert with pointed ears or anything. I've never seen that from these dogs. I knew they must be scared, which I've never seen that from them either. They were not dogs that would just attack for no reason, but they were powerful and could be vicious. A good team. I asked Philip what was crossing the road, and why aren't the dogs barking at it. He did not know either. We all four stood and watched as this creature crossed the road into the woods and simply gone. Not a sound of the growl, not a sound on the frozen crispy leaves, ground almost ghostly. I cannot really decide on if it is seeing a large cat-like creature or if it was a large black bear-like creature. Whatever it was very big. Hard to tell the exact size due to the being dusky dark and it being black. Also, I am guessing waist high or taller, very big, and it had no fear. Spooked, Philip and I unholstered our large knives. We decided to proceed onward to see the girls anyway. What I can say, it's to die for, right? He's gonna see them girls anyways. That's typical boys. They'd fight a bear to see a girl, or a Bigfoot, or a dog man. As we crossed where the creature had crossed, the dogs did not respond. They didn't even attempt to try to sniff the ground, again very unusual for these dogs. They were always using their noses to investigate matters. After a visit with Jessica and friends, it still weighed on Philip and I's minds, knowing our friends were just down the road in the encounter and unaware. Jessica's parents wanted Philip and I gone anyway. We told them of the encounter. Her dad told there were strange things around there. I'm from there, so I already knew that. Philip and I hiked back to Smith Hill in the dark. When we got back, we warned the others of seeing the creature. They said there were strange noises. In the end, we decided it was unsafe to be there. Doused the fire, got in the car, and headed back out to Brian's parents' home. It's about a quarter century now. I still do not know what it was. I'm a magnet for encounters, and I've had numerous stories that have happened of all types. And hopefully he'll share those with us, guys. Some of the things that he really made me start thinking about in this video was he mentioned that it had a snout. I'm thinking what it was is probably a large dog man, would be my guess. Also, how he talked about his dogs not, scenting it. I live in the country, and when you're young like that, my dogs were my best friends, and I rabbit hunted mine, squirrel hunted them. They would track deer. It didn't matter if the only thing they wouldn't bother was chickens and cows and goats, because that's what we raised, and they knew that was a no-no. But anything else was fair game. And they knew when you grabbed your gun and you went to the woods, they knew that it was time to work. For a dog not to scent that's really weird, which got me to thinking about some 411 cases to where, got my notebook, guys, you'll hear about that, to where the dogs, would go out and they wouldn't track. The dogs actually seemed like they were afraid or they were scared or just wouldn't even try to scent it. Well, I talked to a guy I know, he's a canine officer, and he gave me some information that I wasn't aware of, and I thought I would share it with you guys, and I thought it may be helpful. I've never been a canine officer, so I've had dogs and stuff, but not the training that he would, and knowing how a dog reacts, scent, and stuff like that. But he said that the scent can last for several weeks, give or take. A few certain environmental factors, and conditions can determine how long. So in the 411 cases, they had the dogs out there almost immediately, and the dogs refused to search. And I was kind of like, man, that's weird that these dogs are not searching. So he said a scent will pull, cling, and survive in shady areas and areas with lush vegetation. Another thing that blows me away, where these kids are taken or abducted or whatever, it's in the woods where there is all of this. So that scent should be so strong to them dogs. People scent, now I think this was really interesting to me. People scent changes under stress. Dogs still locate people 76% of the time whenever they're stressed, but their scent does change when they become stressed. Now this is one I think y'all are really going to like. An animal, or he said any person or animal or whatever, that has a stronger scent then the scent you're actually tracking will cover up that scent, but the dog will usually go ahead and follow that scent, except for there is an exception. Dogs will not track a scent that they know is an alpha male predator. So they will refuse to, they will become afraid, they will lay down, they will lie down, they will refuse to track. Some will even try to get back to the vehicle or back to their dog box. That answered a lot for me right there, because I know I've read a lot of that happening. But here's another one I thought was pretty interesting. He said dogs, for some odd reason, are afraid of shadows. And he said especially shadows that are glitchy or in and out. He said they cannot stand that, they will not track that, and it will actually cower them. He said they don't know why he learned that. He learned that in his schooling, that they are afraid of shadows that do that. And he said it may be just something that weirds them out or whatever, but he said they will not track a shadow. So if these things are in the woods and they're moving and they're camoed and they have this alpha male scent, they're moving as shadows, maybe that's why these dogs aren't tracking it, because they got the alpha male scent. They're seeing something that already puts fear into them, and they know it is something that is an alpha male that may just kill them and eat them. Maybe that's why they're not tracking them, because they know that, hey, something I don't want to mess with. And if its scent is that strong, it's probably covering the scent of the child or the person that it's abducted, took, or whatever anyways. So there would not be that scent there, because he said that whenever they use the dogs in locating somebody, they will use an article of their clothing or something. That way the dog has a scent to know what scent to locate. If he doesn't have a scent to locate, he's got thousands of scents that his nose is picking up, he said, because they're very, very delicate. They can pick up things, that we can't even smell. So without that and him covering up, then the dog wouldn't even know what to search for anyways. I thought it was interesting, guys. I wanted to share it with you. Thanks, Spooktator Bob. I'm going to get this out as soon as I can, and I look forward to his comments on it and kind of what he thinks. I'm sure he'll have some ideas maybe to add to it. I appreciate you guys watching. We're going to get at it. We got some stuff to do on our other channel today, and we're going to try to get that out too. So I've got 2 videos on me pushing and editing. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. God bless you guys. Keep your head on the swivel till next time, and thanks for being here with us.